I'll demonstrate how to use Excel pivot table. You can start using it from today. Hi, this is Mike Negami, Lean Sigma Black Belt. I made a video about data aggregation using Excel's SUMIFS function earlier. After that, I got this comment. Why don't you recommend pivot table? Thanks Kai's Mobile for your comment. As he suggested, I'll recommend that you try out Excel's pivot table. The pivot table is one of the most powerful Excel features, especially when you need to make an analysis in a short time. This is the result of the previous data aggregation. You can make the same thing with a pivot table without using any Excel functions. We'll learn how to use a pivot table through making this same aggregation with it. Let's start with the same source data. Each column is called a field and has a field name in the top cell. As with a pivot table, you should always use this simple formatted data for any data analysis. After preparing the source data, select a range of the data with your mouse. Make sure the field names are at the top of your selected range. Then click Insert and Pivot Table. You'll see this small screen. You can make different settings here, but you can also just click OK, so that a pivot table will be made in a new worksheet. Since I would like to show my source data and pivot table side by side, I'll select existing worksheet, click a cell next to the pivot table, and click OK. Then the pivot table work screen will appear, which is called a field list. By the way, I'm using Excel 2016. Please be aware that layouts and functions may be different depending on your Excel version. First, let you understand the meaning of each section. The upper half represents the source data, and the field names from it are listed. Therefore, if even one field name in your source data was blank, an error message would appear and not let you proceed forward. The lower half shows the structure of the target result you would like to have. Let's compare the two. The leftmost column in the target result are rows, the upper part are columns. Rows and columns are crossed, so this formatted analysis is called cross aggregation. These rows are represented by the lower left box in the field list, which is rows area. Since you want to show sales channel in the rows, drag and drop the field name from above. The section that contains the SUMIFS function last time is represented by the lower right box in the field list, which is the values area. Since this is the sales amount, drag it from above and drop it in the box. In most cases, however, the count of sales data appears first. We would like to have the sums here. Right-click on one of the value cells, and in the Summarize Values by, choose Sum. Then the values all change to sums. However, I got an error with the sales amount of this B2C. Let's find the code of the error. Select the source data field names. Select Home, Sort and Filter, then autofilter the set. With the sales amount autofilter, uncheck Select All and scroll down, there is an error data. The pivot table was totaling an error, so it caught the error. Since this error was old data, I'll delete this whole line. Let's return to the pivot table. Right-click on it and select Refresh to update the result. The error disappeared. Our target result is weekly sales, and each column is sales date by week. In the field list, it's represented in the columns area on the upper right. Drag sales date from the top and drop it there. Since there are many dates, Excel has aggregated dates to annual sales automatically, but what we want are the past 6 weeks weekly sales. Here is an icon that looks like an autofilter. When click on it, you'll see date filters. From there, select After and click the calendar icon. Then narrow it to the last 6 weeks. Since it's still an annual aggregation, I want to make it weekly. Right-click on any date and select Group. I'll select Dates and put 7 since I need weekly. Then click OK. Although its formats are different, the values are the exact same. The pivot table is a very powerful tool, but one issue I have is that it has some limitations with changing layout or format. So my recommendation is to get calculations from the pivot table, then do layout and formatting in a separate table. After checking the pivot table results, make a table manually with formats you like. Then copy the pivot table results and paste the special value onto the table you just made. Although I didn't show you today, you can put other fields in the remaining upper left filter section and easily have a filter function. After you get used to the pivot table, you can make quite complicated aggregations in a short time. Please try to master this powerful tool. Thank you very much for viewing. Please click the subscribe button. Also click and watch my other related videos. Thanks.